Hello, everyone. This is Gilberto from Agency U, another episode here of the Agency U podcast. And I have a special guest on here today. I'm on here with Christian, who's
What's
from
up?
B2Bscale.io. Christian, thanks for joining us here.
Thank
Coincidentally,
you,
in like
bro.
the same spot that we're in Medellin, Colombia, both from the same place over there at WeWork that you're at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love this viewer, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm super pumped to talk to you about. We had initially met just a couple of days ago, right, at like a networking dinner, and you kind of spoke to me a little bit about your agency. So, for context, guys, for those of you listening, Christian has built a seven-figure cold email agency, B2Bscale.io, and really just for like today's podcast, I like would really want to talk about like some cold email stuff because that's client acquisition is always like super important. Like all agency owners like always want to like chat about like client acquisition and then even chat about like your own agency, man, like the trajectory of like growth, what it looks like now, what the goal is. Yeah, it'll be a dope interview. So yeah, give
So,
us like a bit of a background, man, like just a little bit about kind of like yourself, who Christian is, how you got here. Give us the
yeah,
background.
yeah. Christian's a born guy. I started in business about 3 years, almost and a half ago, like 3 years and a couple months. I started a Cairo agency. It wasn't a Cairo agency at first. We were a lead gen agency, but I tried working with a bunch of people. Eventually, it led to me working with a chiropractor on a free trial. Um, I cold emailed him, funnily enough, back when I was starting out, and he converted after the free trial. So I decided I would niche down to Cairo. I scaled that over 2 years to about the 30 to 40 grand a month mark, but I felt like I could provide more value to agencies, which is why I made the switch from that agency to working an agency for agencies. That started in November of 2022. So about a year and almost a year and a half, but a little bit less than that. And yeah, we grew that to seven figures. We hit the seven figure run rate about, I was telling you this earlier, about July, August of last year, and we've been consistently there. And last month we hit 110K a month, which was a record month for
Really
us.
impressive growth, man. Yeah, seriously.
Thank you, bro.
Really good stuff.
Thank you.
And yeah, like what do you like when it comes to cold email? Like you mentioned, like that was for you, you got your first client from cold email. I remember for mine, like mine was like from LinkedIn, like back when like that
Really?
worked a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like since then you've kind of like from the beginning already like you've been like ripping cold email and like now it's like
Mhm.
you're doing it for others. What do you think are like, I guess when people hear cold email, like there's misconceptions that come with that. So what do you think are some of like those misconceptions that people have about like cold email, like why they think it might not work, or maybe like they've tried it but like it hasn't worked for them? What do you think that is?
To be honest with you, bro, a lot of times if cold email doesn't work for someone, it's going to be for one of two reasons. Either they didn't set it up properly, they think they did, but they didn't. Because the way you set it up, the way you warm up the accounts, the way you ramp up the volume, that will matter in how many people actually see your emails. And the second thing, the reason that doesn't work is people think cold email is the problem, but they're the problem, meaning they're offering their agency.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, and I think you know this as well, but at least because like we scaled like the revenue levels that I mentioned was not just through cold email, paid ads, referrals. So we're good at marketing overall, right? To cold audiences. And at the end of the day, what I've noticed is like the 80-20 of marketing for any channel, cold is your offer. And so people will do cold email with a shit offer and also bad copy. So they offer any copy, which goes together in a way, but not
Yeah.
really. But and they think cold email doesn't work. It's them that didn't make it work. And that's
Yeah.
why we'll work with agencies, dude. And I'm not saying this to plug ourselves in here, but like if we do work with agencies that have worked with a bunch of other agencies before, didn't get shit. Can I curse? Sorry. Didn't
Yeah,
get
that's
didn't get
good.
any results. Cool. And they come in and start getting meetings. I mean, it's not because we did cold email for this, because we helped them with their offer. And so a lot of times the reason people's outreach, not even cold email, paid ads, cold email, DMs, LinkedIn, it doesn't work is a lot of times, in my opinion, because of the offer.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing with ads as well. Like I think
For
a
sure.
lot of people too, like they'll like because we get for agency, we'll get people that come to us and like they'll say like how they've tried ads before, they've tried cold email, like they've tried LinkedIn, but it just didn't work. And like
Yeah,
oftentimes, like when we dig in and like ask more questions, like it's oftentimes like it all comes down to like the offer, right? Because it's
for
like
sure.
if that offer isn't dialed in, like it like
Yeah.
the marketing is only an amplification of that. So yeah, that's a really good point
Yes.
that you brought up. Is like you
Yeah.
gotta take care of the basics first. It's very reaffirming that you're seeing that as well, because like you got to take care of the foundations first in order to scale properly.
100%, bro. And it's not even just like, and I will mention this because I think this will help people. Um, it's not even is your offer good, is it's also is it different? And that matters in my opinion just as much is what I've seen. Because at first we were working with our clients and we just had better offers for our clients, and that's why they outperformed everybody. But then I realized the reason they're performing so well is not because they have better offers, but because it's different. Because imagine, because I know you guys work with a lot of content agencies. Imagine, I'm running a content agency. My offer is like, because this would be a good offer, I would think. I haven't worked with a lot of content agencies, but I'll make you a free video, like a short form video that you can check out. If you're the first agency for content agency that does that, you'll fucking blow up. I would assume. I've never tried it, but I would assume you blow up. But if every single content agency is running that ad to the same market as you, then it's not going to work, and you got to come up with something different. So it's like not only how good is my offer, but also how different is it from what people are seeing in the market. That's what I seem to crush for our clients.
It reminds me of I don't know if you forgot the name of this book. I think it's like Scientific Advertising by Eugene
I haven't
Schwartz.
read it, but I know it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he talks about like the levels of sophistication in a market,
I think
like market sophistication.
that's in another book. I think it's
Yeah.
how am I forgetting the name right now? But yeah, go ahead. It's in that one.
Yeah, I think it might be. I always
Breakthrough
confuse those two.
advertising. Breakthrough advertising.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, I always can because they're old school books. So like I always
Yeah, they are. They
confuse
are.
those two. But yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the market sophistication
Yes,
stuff?
5 levels of
Yeah.
sophistication. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what you're referring to is what I hear. Because
Yes.
like each like in each market, it's like they get pitched so much. Like the typical
Yeah.
ones like real estate agents, mortgage brokers, Cairo, what
Yeah.
med spas is another one. And like if you're coming and you sound the same as everyone else, it's like you're gonna get the
It's not
results as
gonna
like
work.
most of the marketers there, right? Like it's not gonna be
Yeah.
much. But if you come with like even slightly of a different approach, like you sound different when you reach out, your offer is different, even your sales process is slightly different,
Yeah.
like a 5% difference, and like that's enough to be able to like stand out in the market and like
Yeah.
actually like crush it. Yeah.
Yeah, even for us, the way we scaled is like with a different offer. Because cold email is a commoditized service. Like anybody
Yeah.
can go to an agency and say, I do cold email. We ran ads that said pay per close, which is like as good of an offer. That's not actually what we offer. It's like we have that as an option. But like it got people on a call. It just, and also our sales process is way better than the other people. And like I said, like we actually get good results. So you're right about like the more, in my opinion, the more changes you have, the better. And the best change one can have in a market that is so saturated is like having a different service that's better than the others. Like on that, like, okay, every Cairo has been burned by paid ads agencies. If I come in and I'm like, I do short form content for chiropractors and I help this chiropractor generate 40 patients a week, some crazy shit, people are gonna fucking buy that shit. Like it'll sell like crazy because like
Yeah.
no one's doing that. Well, today more people are doing it, but if you were the first to do that, bro, fuck. Even today, I don't think it's that competitive
Yeah. I don't think there's that many. Yeah. For
compared
specifically
to
for
lead gen.
content agencies, there's like a huge opportunity because there's like so much where like a lot of them aren't niched down, I find. Like a lot of them are kind of going like general, or they're maybe hitting like different niches. But the ones
Yeah,
that like really niche down, like Austin, my business partner, like he niched down to like real estate agents, and that was a big part of like, who he serves. And he like absolutely demolished, like hit like 200, like they're doing 200K per month, and that's like in Bellevue, Washington, which like I don't know if you've ever heard of Bellevue. Like I've never heard of Bellevue
competitive.
before. Like yeah, before meeting Austin. You've heard of Bellevue?
Well, I know the city, but is it?
Okay.
I don't know about it. You know,
Okay.
is it
Yeah, I've never
competitive
heard of
or?
like Bellevue. It's outside of like Seattle and stuff, but like yeah, if someone can go in there and crush in such a niche market and like one specific like realtors there, it's like yeah, there's so much like opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you, like what do you think are like, I guess for like agencies in general, like what do you see as like kind of like the main problems that you come across, like with the ones that come to you? What do you think are like the main ones? You mentioned like not having the offer, or a dialed in
yeah,
offer is one of them. What else do you
yeah.
notice? Like what else do you see?
I mean, related to marketing or just in general?
Just in general, yeah, just like with like
Okay.
scaling their agency.
Well, for sure, I think a lot of agencies have a shit product. That's well known. You know, a lot of agencies churn. That's a big one. Not all of our clients. We have some clients that don't have the best product because most, you know, most of the agency space is like that. But we do have some clients who have like really high LTVs and retention, which is great. I would say that's one. And another thing I see a lot of people struggle with is hiring,
Mm,
which
yeah.
because it's like if you know how to market, obviously there's sales as well, but like if you know how to market and you know how to sell, then it's just about delivering and getting the people to deliver. Um, and when I say hiring, there's a lot that goes into that. I think a lot of people don't know where to find people and who to find at one
What
point.
are what are some of the roles that they usually like are looking for?
Um, Depending on their level, if they're more beginners, it might be VAs and media buyers. If they're for lead gen agencies,
Yeah.
if they're higher, let's say six figures on the way to seven, closers, setters, CSMs is what I've seen.
Yeah.
I'll say those are the main ones.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, I usually find, yeah, there's kind of like levels to it. Like we have a term for it that I got from my mentor, which is like heart, head, and hands, which is basically like heart is like the CEO, right? Head is basically like
That's good.
manager level people, like a CSM, a closer, like those type of like team leads. And then there's
People who
like
can think on their
the
own.
hands. Yeah. And then there's like the final one is the hands, which is like a VA, a video editor, a media buyer, like technicians essentially is like those.
I like
So
that.
yeah,
Heart,
I
hand, and
it always
hands.
stuck with me
Uh-huh.
when I heard that. So
Yeah,
yeah. If for those of you guys hearing this, like yeah, take that with you like for hiring because that's a really good framework on like who to hire and at what point. So yeah, that's
actually, yeah, I didn't think about it from. Yeah, you're right. When you think about it, because like you're right. A lot, I've seen people make that mistake of saying like, should I hire a closer? Well, that framework I would tie with also. I tend because if you think about it, what is that framework? It's like you hire the people that cost the least at first, and that entail the least amount of risk. Because
yeah,
if a VA does badly, you get another one, or you do it yourself. If a closer does badly for a month or two and you get no sales, your agency goes to shit, or you know
yeah,
you're kind of it's not going to go well. And same for CSMs, you might churn like crazy. So and then even worse for the heart, which is like the if you had executives,
exactly.
which most agencies six seven figures, well, early seven figures don't have that. That would be that would be crazy. That would go badly, bro.
Yeah, it's always I think as you start to like go up the ring though, like you'll start to like almost I know it was the case for me because like as soon as I made my first hire, I like got the sense of like, okay, where to source, how to train and onboard, how to like go in and like retain, right? Because it's almost like for me, I don't know if you've noticed this for your agency, but like for me, it definitely feels like it's almost the same thing as client acquisition, but for like talent.
It is.
Like you
It's the
still have
same.
like you have an offer, you have like you got to retain them, you got to onboard them
Yep.
just like you would with a
Yep.
client. You have to set expectations, like all of this. It's literally almost the same thing,
Literally,
especially when
bro.
we bring on closers. So yeah, what's been your experience with that? With like just for your own agency, like talent
It's
acquisition, like
literally
on the team.
yeah, it's literally the same. I mean, we've hired a lot of people. I've hired, especially I've hired a lot of VAs because like what we used to do is we used to because right now we do done free appointment setting for agencies. We used to build out the system for them, and so I would place a VA for each person, each agency. So I would hire 15 to 20 VAs a month because we will onboard that many clients a month. And so, like you said, I've noticed like it's the same thing. It's literally the exact same thing. I treat it like marketing, and I think everybody here should treat it like marketing. Like, where do I get my leads? Which in this case is applications. How
Yeah,
do I like?
candidates.
How do you nurture the leads? Yeah, can't exactly. Like, do you like? This is more advanced, but like, do you? I see this especially some figure agencies do this, but like they will nurture their leads. You will have a video of a team meeting to hype the person up about helping on an interview with you. Um, then what's the interview process, right? Because like a lot of people like interviews, you can structure it just like you can structure a sales process. 15-minute phone call, 30-minute Zoom call. You can might send them some content between the first and second call, follow up. It's a bit different for hiring, but yeah, it's exactly the same thing, bro. And
Yeah.
for us, we've hired a
Call
lot
close,
from
2 round interviews. That's what we
yeah,
do. We do like two rounds, sometimes three, depending on like the type of
yeah,
hire. But it's like literally like the same as like a sales call. Like, yeah, it's pretty like
yeah,
crazy, like the similarities. It didn't even come to me until like I heard something from Hermosi where he was like saying
yeah,
something along the lines of talent acquisition. And it just like I
yes,
never consider it ever And I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, it's literally the exact same thing. It's like literally the
Bro, Layla
exact,
Hermosi has a video, and this is where I
yeah,
learned about this from. Layla Hermosi had the video where she talked about this. Like she was like, gym launch was at 400K a month. What got us to whatever, how many millions a month they were at was that they started having a talent acquisition funnel. So they were hiring like crazy, but treating it like sales. It's the same thing.
yeah. Got to keep the pipeline full. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So true. Yeah. What do you think right now, like for your agency, what do you think is like the biggest bottleneck, like for you, like at the 7-figure run rate, like what's been kind of like your barrier to like hit that next level?
Yeah, great question. But this is the barrier I've actually come up on recently. It's it's the fact that we can only have so we work with very specific types of agencies right now as we're talking. Agencies that do lead gen that work with local. So I'm not going to work with an agency that does paid ads for SaaS or for coaches, consultants. And so by default, because of that, we have a very limited market. Not our market, not just us, but also our market's market.
Yeah.
Because if I can only work with local businesses, I can't have, and as you know, there are a lot of agencies working in specific niches like Cairo dental. I can't have 10 agencies in Cairo sending 10, 20,000 emails a day to 50,000 chiropractors across the US.
Yeah.
It's just the results are just going to go down and down and down over time.
Yeah.
It's not going to make sense. And so now I've had to put a limit on how many agencies I take per niche, which by default limits the size of the business right now. So that's the actual bottleneck, which is like because we know how to acquire clients. I could acquire fucking 30, 40 agencies a month. We're obviously good at that. But like it doesn't make sense. So now where I'm at a point where it's like, do we do we add a niche? And what would that niche be? Do we offer more services to the current clients and upsell and offer paid ads? Because we did, I mean, like even though we offer cold email as a service, a lot of our growth is actually from paid ads. We do cold email, but I think paid ads, and this is going to sound weird from cold email agency, but like I think paid ads is the best acquisition method for an agency by far. The reason we don't offer that as a service yet is because most agencies can't afford it.
Yeah.
And most agencies might like imagine you charge 2K a month plus ad spend. There's not a lot of agencies that can afford that. Then again, uh, there are some, which is why, or you can upsell. Like if I get someone 10 to 30K a month in MRR from cold email, then the next step is paid ads. So that's why that's there. So that's our bottleneck right now.
Yeah. Like the main one right now. Yeah. We had
Is the only one,
encountered that
pretty much.
for my agency. We had encountered that when we hit like probably past, yeah, like 50 clients. So we work with like mortgage brokers and stuff. And like they also have a similar thing, like where like they almost like some of them, because of like the nature of our outreach, kind of like know whether or not like we're working with someone else, because like they will also like be able to see those messages.
Yeah.
And so like what we started doing was basically like adding exclusivity, and then we started like basically like adding like other, not necessarily
Niches.
niches, like so like our offer is like we'll help connect, we'll do like cold email to like connect them with like realtors for like referral partnerships, right? Very unique offers, essentially
That's
lead gen
good.
agency.
That's
And like
fine.
one of the things that we started doing is like we started then switching our campaigns, not switching, but adding onto it, where like we'll help you connect with divorce attorneys, which is like a really hot one right now that we've been like absolutely like crushing. If you want to talk about market
That's a smart.
sophistication levels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, dude.
So
That's a very differentiated offer.
yeah, because of like the nature of like the economy and all that stuff, like divorce attorneys right now has been like crushing for us, right? So basically, like we started adding that and like financial advisors and connecting them with CPAs and all that kind of stuff. So that helped us scale. So maybe like maybe there's a version of that for you as well. Maybe like
Yeah.
I don't know, something
Yeah.
something
So
similar for you.
yeah,
And yeah, one of
that's
the things,
fine.
yeah, it's precious. One of the things I wanted to ask you, like for the agencies that you've worked with, right? Like specifically with cold email, you mentioned like lead gen agencies. What are like some of the, I guess, some of the biggest success stories that you've seen with like cold email? Like literally like took this guy from like zero to like, I don't know, 30K a month, 40K a month.
Yeah, we've done that. We've taken people from 0 to 30K a month. Um, I would say like for me, at least the best case that I've seen for our case studies is people adding 30, maybe up to 40K a month-ish in MR to their agencies. Worst case is like 10K a month. So it's always between that range. And I've got plenty of people like, and I'm gonna without shame, I'm gonna plug myself. If you guys want to go to our YouTube channel, just put in my name in there. You'll see a bunch of case studies in there of people that have done that. Guys that closed 10 clients in 6 weeks, 0 to 30K a month, 0 to 20K a month. I could go on. Bro, I had a
Yeah,
guy close 4 dentists in 1 week. I don't know how he did it. It's insane, bro. And he wasn't, anyways.
it's
I still
crazy.
don't understand that.
And that's wait, so that's only local or is that nationwide that he was working with dentists?
What do you mean? Did he work with nationwide dentists?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
with
he worked with
was it
the
only
entire
like
US.
okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Crazy. 4 dentists in 1 week. And this was
Bro, that
like
was
him previously not doing that much volume, like below like 10K a
he
month.
was
Like is that
he was at like 2K a month, bro. Oh no, 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 sorry, 3, 4K a month.
wow?
Yeah,
What's he at
that was
now?
insane. 30K.
It's wild.
But that
10x,
was that
10x
was
over that.
December. That was yeah, that was a while back. So because that
Okay.
he closed all those people, it was a 3 month package. I think he collected the first month. So recurring, it might be higher. I don't know where he's at right now. I haven't spoken to him because it
Yeah.
wasn't a done for you client. That was a build out, like what I said earlier, where we built him the system and gave it to him. So we
Yeah.
had a 4 month program. Then I stopped talking to him. But
Gotcha.
bro, he'll vouch for us. I was at a live business
Sure.
event with
Yeah. If
him.
someone 10x is your business, like the yeah,
Yeah,
client.
he was bro. He was going to people and just saying, "Yo, go check out these guys." It was funny. Cool
Yeah.
guy.
It's awesome. What do you think are like what I've noticed? We've been doing cold email, like LinkedIn, like even with even cold calls and stuff. Like things always change, like on every platform. Like even with like the cold calls, like some of the like regulations on that stuff, like emails,
Yeah,
LinkedIn, like restrictions, like
AI
DMing
coming in.
stuff. So like each platform I've noticed over the last 6 years, like they change pretty much all the time. Like at least like you're gonna have at least one change per year that
Yeah,
happens. So like how have you been able to like keep up with it? Have you noticed any changes? Like yeah, like tell me a little bit more about that.
I mean, yeah. Funny story. So, well, when I started cold email, I didn't, the way of doing cold email right now is like domains, like Christian at B2B-Skill.io, B2B-Skill.com, a different domain than your main one, B2B appointments.com, whatever, right? Back in even like September of last year, so like 7 months ago, I didn't even do that. I had the most ghetto way of doing cold email because that's how I scaled my agency. I would use
Yeah,
HGmail accounts.
dude.
So
Yes.
random name at gmail.com, right? Oh, you've done that before?
Yeah, bulk. Do you go to bulk accounts buy?
Yeah,
Buy bulk
yeah,
accounts, or I forgot the name
yeah,
of the website.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's where I bought it
yes,
from. Yeah, but we
yeah,
offered that for our clients, and then one day, bro, they all got shut down, and that was absolutely a pain. That was a stressful month. So I've had shit like that come up. How do I stay ahead of it? Obviously, from those mistakes, I've learned things to be careful around it. For example, now for our clients, we actually don't what we used to do. So we went from HTMLs to Google accounts, like Google Workspace. Now what we actually do is we do a 50-50 split between Outlook and Google Workspace. And it's not like results or anything, because results are still good regardless. Maybe it's a bit better, maybe it's a little bit worse. It's not a big difference. It's mainly for risk mitigation. Because I know cold email can go to shit anytime, bro.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like unpredictable. You know how Zoho, if you remember Zoho just
yeah,
stopped
yeah.
working like
Yeah, that was
last
for
year?
us like a pretty bad month.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that
yeah, I'm
was
sure, bro. And Google, what I realized, like Google can do that any month. Tomorrow they could say us. Obviously, they'll probably give you like a, hey, in 1 month it's gonna stop. But like I'd rather be ready, and that's why we diversified across 2 different types of accounts.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we had a similar thing with like Zoho. They completely like
Yeah,
one like
dude,
one day like I wake up and like my ops manager is like, yeah, all of our Zoho accounts are like not sending anything. And then I
it's
check
insane,
into
bro.
like my network and it's like, yeah, Zoho
And they did
completely
it just
like
like that, right? They didn't
yeah.
like give a warning. They just
It
fucking shut
seemed
it down, right?
yeah. Yeah, because usually they do give a warning, like even like Google, like all this, like they already
Yeah,
kind of put out messages of like, yeah, like if you do
right.
this, like we're gonna shut you down. But like with Zoho, it's like literally it felt like it was just like overnight. Like literally,
That's what I'm
it's just
saying.
like, yeah,
But like, and especially that's bad if you, well, one, if you depend on it for a client acquisition for yourself, and then if you offer that as a service like we do, imagine they could just Google just shuts down everything. At least now I still have half my accounts. But yeah, it'd be insane.
yeah, it's crazy. I think that's been the case like for me over the last 6 years of like just like every account, just like pivoting and transitioning or like getting just smarter on like how we do things like finding yeah there's always a way like that's what I found like where there's a will
Yeah,
there's a way like there's always some
yes,
way of like still getting clients like regardless of what changes happen
100%.
like ads. It's the iOS
And there's
14.
always going to be cold email. There's always like there's always going to
Yeah.
be ads. There's always going to be cold email despite changes. You might, as long as people can send and receive emails, you're going to be able to do cold email somewhere or the other. You just got to change the way you do it.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that way.
It's also the thing with like cold calls too. Like as long as people like have phones and like they have the calling
Literally,
feature, like we'll
literally,
still do cold calls. And like if our sales team needs more appointments, like cold calls are always like the most like
always going to
people
work.
have like this thing about like cold calls, but it works. Like
It
that's the
works.
thing that like I found. I had like this epiphany moment. I don't really remember when exactly, but what I've noticed, my observation is like if you know how to market, like if you understand like the psychology of why people
Yeah,
buy and consumer
yeah.
behavior and like copywriting and sales,
Offers.
you just need a way to get in front of people and like eyeballs and like you'll get clients. Like whether
Yeah,
that's cold
and
calls.
also depending on how resourceful you are. Like for me, as an example, I haven't done a lot of cold calling, but I'll bet you, bro, that you give me 1 month or two, I'll figure it out, and I'll be doing. My team will be doing $1,000 a day. Because also resourcefulness and also like hiring people. I'm not the best at sales necessarily, right? Even though I'm not bad at it at all, I could come up with a script, and I haven't done that many cold calls just based on human psychology. It's same for video ads.
100%.
It's like hook, then offer. Like it's the same principle. You catch their attention, and then yeah, disarm
I think
them.
yeah, I think that is maybe something to consider because, like, for example, our best performing cold email campaign is literally like what we send for like texts.
Cold
It's
calls.
literally what we
I'll
send
text.
for like calls. It's literally
Yeah,
like when occasionally when we run ads, it's like literally the same structure, like the same messaging. Like once you have it down, like it works. Like
and
at
I
least
realized,
as in
bro, I
my
was talking.
experience.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
talked to a friend of mine, and he made me realize this. It's all the same. It's all copywriting. Like
100%.
even videos, content, and you would know this better than I would, but like you're writing copy. It's all copy. It's copy to your voice, to an email, to a text message, to an ad, to a video. It's all writing text and just communicating that text in one way or the other.
100%. That was like, I think one of the best like investments into myself is like learning copywriting. That's
Yeah.
like there's one, you should check this one out if you haven't already, but it's a 16-word sales letter by Evaldo Albuquerque.
Yo, I actually wanted to read that.
Yeah,
I'm
that one's
actually, it's on my,
super. Yeah,
yeah,
I've read it like 3 times, and like we use those same
really.
principles like for our VSL, for my agency, for Agency U. We use it for like even I used the same concepts for like the sales script. Like
Yeah.
you can use it for a webinar. Like it's
I'll read
really
that. It's on my list, bro. I actually want to read that like very soon.
yeah.
It's on my
It
Amazon like page right now.
Yeah, it's cool because like he's selling in like one of the most difficult like markets to like sell in. Like I
He
think
did
he's selling
Agora
like
Financial, right?
financial. Yeah, yeah, Agora
Yeah.
Financial. So it's like when you learn from someone who has like literally like one of the hardest niches to sell to, right? Like very sophisticated market. They've seen every angle that you could possibly put, and you
Yeah.
have like heavy regulation on what you can and can't say. And then you're still able to get like literally like what
Millions.
we're saying right
You
now,
made a
like, hey,
lot of
there's always
money.
a way you're still able to get massive clients at like a multi-million dollar level. Like I think I don't even know how much they're doing. They get so many sales. But
Yeah.
if you're able to do it at that level, it's like, man, there's something there. Like there obviously there's
Yeah.
some framework that's working. Yeah.
And I've heard so many people shout that guy out. And I've seen, I don't know if you saw, he has a YouTube video too, like 20, 25 minutes where he goes over
Yeah.
this, the same, it was fire. I didn't study it. And because like, funnily enough, you actually, on the note of copywriting, it's something that I plan on going more in depth into. I've
Yeah.
done copywriting, but not never in depth. So I know how to write paid ads. I know how to write obviously cold emails. I could probably write a script for an ad as well, but it's more like intuitive from trying shit out rather than studying it. So I actually
Yeah.
want to study
I
that very
think
soon. I'm studying that right now.
I have a very similar like take on that because I think the intuition, like when you kind of get a gut feeling of why it works, it's because of so many like
Reps.
repetitions of like for me, like I've seen so much marketing, so many ads, and like I've also done a lot of copy. Like I've written out all of our email copy. We have like a email list that we hit for like our stuff and that gets clients. And like I've written out all like how much is it? It's like 70, it's like an auto drip campaign. It's a drip campaign of like 76 emails that like I wrote up. And it was like literally like just going through and like copying, like looking at copy and then replicating it and then like adjusting it. When you do
Yep.
so much of that, plus you take sales calls, plus you write like email
Yep.
copy every day, it's like, man, you get, yeah, you
You
see
get
like
good
a
at it.
big difference. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's definitely one of like the key skill sets for like any agency, like for, those of you guys listening here, like any like sales, I would think I would probably put it at probably the number one. Number two to that, like copywriting. And then like number three would be like your skill set that you do. Like if it's ads, that would be like your main skill set that your agency's based off of. Like if you
Yep.
have like the skill sets of like ads plus copywriting plus sales, it's like literally that's all you would need for like, building easily to like 30K a month, 50K a
Bro,
month.
yeah, if you just know how to do copywriting and sales, you could build that to 30K a month. But your product might suck, you might churn, you might not be profitable because of it, or you might get
Yeah.
refunds and shit.
That's
But
when you get to like the next part of it. That's where
which is actually getting good at your service.
yeah, it's focusing on like the product because that's like
Yep.
where kind of like what you said, like a lot of people could go wrong of like if you don't have a good product, then your churn is going to be really bad. If you don't have client success protocols as well, or like it's going to be really hard for you to keep a client success manager. If you don't understand systems, you're never going to get past
Yep.
50K a month. If you don't know how to hire and retain people and build culture, and it's like all of this, like you're for sure not going to get to 100K per month.
Not
Yeah,
happening.
that was one of my learning curves. I don't know, maybe you kind of saw this as well, but like once you like acquire certain skill sets, it's like, all right, now to like hit the next level, it's like another set of skill sets, hiring, build a culture,
Yes.
team.
But I love that shit, bro. I love that shit. I would say I
Yeah,
don't think you need like to be really good at culture and to get to 100K a month. But I think once you get to 100K a month to go beyond there, in my opinion, because we got to 100K with like a good amount of culture. Actually, it wasn't bad at all when I think about it. Like we have still right now core value presentations every week.
yeah,
We have our core values, we have our vision, mission, core value shout outs. But I think you can get to 100K without that. But like you got to be good at hiring because it's depending on the business. For most agencies, like bro, you can't get there alone. Depends on the agency. Some agencies I think it's possible. If you had like one client that's paying you 100K a month,
yeah. There's
but
some
you got to be
exceptions
very
to it.
skilled. You got to be
Yeah,
very very skilled for that, right? So
yeah. There's some that have like 10K a month clients, 25K a month clients, and you only need
yep,
probably 4 or 7
yep,
clients to
and you
hit
can manage that
100K.
on your own
That would be probably like not, there are some exceptions to that rule, but yeah, like if you do want to
for the
get
most part.
past,
Yeah,
yeah, 100K a month, like a team, like there's just no way. There's very few ways to get
yeah,
past the 100K a month without that team.
yeah, because you probably need at least BAs if you're doing media buying, media buyer if you're doing content and video editor, at least a CSM or a closer, and maybe even a
100%,
setter. At least one or of those two minimum.
100%. So yeah, now kind of getting close to the end of our awesome conversation here. What do you
Sir,
think are like I always kind of like to think about like, what can the listeners like walk away with like actionable tips? Like for me, I think, for those of you guys listening here, like I think definitely listening to or reading 16 word sales letter is like by far number one, like considering
I'm
like
gonna do that as well.
copywriting and like looking into how you can level up your sales or copywriting skills, because probably most of who's listening right now already has like a skill set of like either like ads for lead gen or cold, they already maybe already are doing cold email, or they have like video editing or branding that they do. So like considering leveling up your skill set with like sales or copywriting, what do you think would be like kind of actionable steps for like the agency owners, listening to this right now?
I would add to that as well. I personally, this is my opinion. This is something I learned from Hormozy. He says that in terms of importance, the market is number one, the offer is number two, and your persuasion skills are number three. So, meaning sales skills. So, don't get me wrong, I agree, sales skills are incredibly important, and copywriting is as well. But I think people should study as well building offers, enticing offers, and like obviously a classic for that. And where I learned a lot of it is like Hormozy's book, $100 million
Yeah.
offers. That book's fire because I do think like, and I've seen this dude like if you have a really good offer, it sells itself. You still have to like show why it's good. You got to do sales,
Still
but
got to get people
I
through the
think
line. Yeah, through the finish
yeah,
line.
yeah, you got to close them. You got to do all that stuff. But like if I go to a company right now, a Cairo, and I say I'll charge you 10K a month, and that's it, and there's no guarantee, nothing. No one, depending on your market, they're obviously not going to buy. Even if I make them 100K a month, they might not buy. Well, they don't know, right? Because they don't trust me. There's a lot of things in there. But I think building offers, sales, like what you said, and copywriting goes into building offers in a way. Because, well, regardless, even if it doesn't, it's super important. Because if you don't know how to write copy, you can't run the right ads, cold emails, LinkedIn, all that stuff.
Offers. Yeah, that's a really good one. That is actually kind of a, now that I think of it, kind of a skill set in itself.
It
Because
is.
even for,
I love building offers personally. It's like it's a very
yeah,
fun because it's not
even
copywriting, it's not sales. It's like in there.
I think, because I'm thinking for us, like one of the things that like for each one of our clients that we still do, like if they get onboarded with our agency, like is looking at their quote unquote offer to
Same.
their referral partners, because there's still an offer being made. And like I think as a lead gen agency or even a video agency as well, it's like you probably are gonna, for the client to be most successful and to retain for the longest time, it's like you got to touch on like the offer, you got to touch on like what they actually like, how they even price things, like all this kind of stuff, which
Yes.
is like, it's a, in general, like a very like, for any business, like most businesses, it's going to be like applicable. So yeah,
Super
100%.
important, bro. Like I was saying, like
Offers,
our results come from that. They don't come from cold email. We're good at cold email, but like it's because I helped them with their offer.
100%. Necessary. So the sign
Yeah.
of a good lead, sign of a good cold email agency, you got to like help people like past just like
Yes, bro.
helping them send emails. Cause if you don't
Yeah.
got the basics down, it's not going to work.
And this is why they don't get results with the other agencies is because they go to the agency, they tell them what to do. This is my offer. When people come to me, and this is, I laugh about it, but like I tell them what to do. And they
Yeah.
listen because they can tell that I know my shit just from the way I talk. Like I sound
100%.
confident because I know that it works.
Yeah, because you've done it too. Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, so many times,
you
dude.
can't do for others what you haven't done for yourself as well.
It's
So
hard. Yeah.
100%. Cool, man. So where would, like, for the agencies, listening to this right now that like kind of want help with the offer and like getting more like help with like cold emails, like where can they find you? Where should they go to find you?
Yeah, I mean, one, you guys can go to my YouTube channel. It's my full name, Christian Issue B2B Scale, to find some of our content. On that note, I have a video, I think it's 40 minutes long, on how to build offers and how we do it for our clients. So you guys can watch that and see how we do it. Because I think if someone can make tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from that video, if they apply it correctly. If you want to book, if you want to book call with our team, sorry, go to B2B Scale.io, B2B Scale.io. Yeah, I said it too fast.
Love it, brother. Awesome, man. Well, dude, I really appreciate you sharing here, like time, knowledge, expertise, man.
Of
I
course.
personally really enjoyed, like, I always love talking about
Same.
sales and marketing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, personally, one of my favorite like subjects to talk about. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on and sharing your time and knowledge, brother.
Thank you, bro. It was a pleasure.